Alright, we got paired. Finally. After long wait and few ports, here we are. A. Yeah. Or whatever. Alright, so knight f6. Let's play c4. Oh, into the Benoni we go, I suppose. Well, oh well, here we are. And by Benoni I mean Benko Gambit. And my opponent spams the move so fast that he probably knows what he's doing. And to be honest, I have no clue. I have some clues, but I'm not gonna. Let's take the pawn and then regret that later. So I don't remember this at all, where we accept the Benko completely. And that is A. Oh, okay. I don't think there can be anything wrong with this move, like we are close to getting connected. E4 looks tempting to just go defend this. So I'll just do it. I'll let them take. I don't really know what's this line about where they don't take instantly. Guess the bishop eventually wants to go somewhere else or what? Like they don't want to go into this old line. I mean, I guess it's legal. I'm gonna stick then like to a very easy development here. My opponent says le pin. So the pawn is hanging here. Of course, it's more attackers there, but everybody could almost take it already, so that's irrelevant. So how do we go about it? We could stick the bishop here. And that does defend this. I was wondering if there's some funny business there. If I takes, and have a bishop here, takes. Sorry, I have a bishop here, not here. So I cannot play here without dropping this, like so in here. If here, cannot block with the bishop without dropping this. And if I don't play there, I drop the rook. But I think I can take with the knight there, right? No, I can't. What the hell, man? I can't take with the knight. So, is this some kind of opening trap? Bishop d3, knight takes d5. This is pinned, and if there. I'm down they're down a piece, but then it's a check. I don't think I can run around with. I mean, technically, maybe we could, except probably king it to c4. Yeah. Do I have to block it with the bishop? I could also maybe drop the knight back here, but then what are we gonna do with the bishop here? Like just go here, over defend this and like break the pin and putting lots more stuff there. Also, is the point to take here with the queen? So if it takes, queen takes, keep the diagonal here and not let me castle. I guess I could play queen e2 there quite easily and probably I'm fine. What else? I guess some queen move somewhere maybe would be legal too. But yeah, probably runs into bishop there. I mean, the downside of bishop d2 is that the b2 is not defended anymore. Well, let's see what's the point. This looked also tempting. But if I take, I mean, I actually start to doubt he's gonna take with the queen because I play queen e2, and that seems fine. But probably with the knight, it's gonna get that tempi there anyways, right? I mean, I guess he could take with the queen, and when I go here, go hit the b pawn. I still think I take there. Get ready to castle at least. So, if we block here, queen goes. I think I don't see how that could be good for black to trade queens. So I assume they go somewhere b file. Hit the b pawn. Is there ever like a scenario where we could just castle, let him take there, and then go rook b1? They could go that way, that way. I guess I could also play here and there. Defend this. This is still covered. I guess he could go back to pin this stupid thing here, but then I could castle away. Well, I think we'll see why this is not good. Just d6. Like you're gonna say that, yeah, I don't care about short term. I'm gonna have that pressure. If I, for instance, take now, the knight is here. Free development, and it might be coming here. And the rook's definitely coming here. So takes, castles. I have everything kind of covered, very nice and tidy, but there's gonna be a lot of pressure on these dudes. Anyways. Like maybe the knight goes here, tries to squeeze in. If I take. I mean, of course I don't now anymore have to castle after the queen trade. I could leave the king here in the center somehow. Hope that it defends the central squares a little bit, even though if I lose the pawn somehow, it's gonna be hell to pay anyways. But they don't have a... Yeah, the bishop is not well placed, I suppose. It's not well placed. I can't move the knight without dropping that pawn. I mean, yeah, I can't castle. Chop, chop, chop in the end. Pre-move. Opponent has a lot more time than in the beginning, which is always fun. I guess queenside has castles is also legal, but not sure I'm gonna survive long there. Even without no queens on. Knight there, rook there, everybody's pointing there. So here, or castles. Or some other move. Like I'd like to set this thing up, but I can't. Not particularly effective anyways. A3 here though. I don't know. I'll stay in the center. Not sure it's that advisable, like somehow he's gonna hurt me, but somehow he is gonna hurt me plenty. And by plenty I mean instantly see I have some problems in my approach. So c2, there, rook's trapped. I guess using rook a b1 is legal. with idea that I'll just play a3, let him go there, and then I mean, I guess he can always jump there and be somewhat annoying anyways. Right? Well, I suppose he is right. It's a weird situation. I do not like these mainline Benkos. On these videos I go for them, but I should look at them a little more if I am gonna play them. Which I will not do because I don't want to go into this. If I would face this in a classical game, definitely would not go into this line. But also I do think that playing my main repertoire on this, especially on this account with my name on, is not a good idea. Actually, I'm kind of playing the third repertoire, and that is like completely made up. Like I don't even play my blitz repertoire most of the time in this, or like my old openings. I just pick a random opening and play that and end up in incredible trouble. This kind of probably showcases that why you should know a little bit about the openings you play. Especially if you're playing a lot really strong players. So I would love to see what would happen here is that I would somehow have the bishop somewhere not here. So I could play the knight here and cover some annoying squares and the pawn here and I think there's sometimes some kind of a knight maneuvers here. I don't know if they are really smart here. But I assume, I don't know, some kind of a setup where he sticks the knight here or doubles the rooks on A or B files, or I mean there's so many options and they are all unpleasant to face. I also particularly don't like if he jumps there I play A3 and he tries to just sneak in there. I mean, can I knight b4, a3, knight c2, king d3, and they takes and somehow like just take it. I guess knight here is gonna say a check and takes on f2. Yeah, that is actually kind of unpleasant. Yeah, and there's gonna be a check to pay if I play a3 here eventually. And I have to move the knight, so the pawn would be hanging too. It's not as clear as day that I'll lose something there. Maybe king d3 is too crazy. I'm not sure that makes particular sense, but I feel like this would be very disturbing though. I mean, of course I don't have to touch it. That's the good part of things. I can leave it here for a second, but of course, if your opponent has a knight on d4, that is a bit disgusting. Of course, I don't have to play a3 either, but he is hitting the pawn. Technically, we could play like a4 and try to set up the Benko. One sturdy setup against the Benko is to put the pawns like that and the knight there, but that's 3 moves. I don't know if I have 3 moves. 3 moves to spare. He probably highlights the other hole in the Benko setups, c5, where he can go here, but also maybe here. I have a move now though. This is not instantly killing me though. So I could maybe move the bishop here. If he goes there, we'll chop it. If it goes there, I probably still have to do the a3. He goes there. Now it's a defended square and he hits my pawn around here. Also, I don't have b3 anymore, so I can play here and here. But then we just drop the a pawn and that's gone. Here. I guess we could go here and hit their pawn. And I don't know, in some scenario in the world where we stick the bishop there. If he moves this somehow, like here or somewhere. Why did I not think about this move that was enabled here? I should have thought that one, because he did make this square available. And that's like a very typical thing that happens in a course, that white, if black plays this, white gets this maneuver sometimes. I did not even look at this at the moment. Of course, it's an undefended square, and it probably would have failed to something. But I should have at least looked at it. Yeah, okay, so it was not wasted opportunity, but... Oh, it's not... Well, it was opportunity, it didn't work, but I should have looked at that. I think the discovery is failed there. Can't really go to an in-betweener because he can take here with check and then... I mean, it would probably not be horrible, to be honest. Go here. He takes one of these guys, and I'll stick the knight there. Let him take here with check. Oh, what did he do? He jumped in. He is hitting my pawn. If I go here, he goes... I go a3, he goes there. But I was kind of thinking that I won't actually defend that stinking pawn. I was thinking of attacking their pawn instead. Is that a good idea? Who knows? Let's do it. He can of course go there. He can of course go there. Still do that. Probably not that. If he takes here, I don't know. I probably take here and not take here and get the rook already here. That looks a little loosey-goosey. But it might be possible. But I don't know. I don't know. Of course, there is something to be said about not letting him take here. Alright, so he's definitely threatening something. What is it? I don't know. So maybe like bishop takes, rook takes, check. Illegal, I suppose. I could play a3. I could take here and let him do the take and check here. I am up a pawn, would be up 2 pawns. I feel like I would be kind of safe in some scenarios. Are we safe? Because there is going to be a knight check there. But I will have knight here. I can't calculate that, so let's just go. Looks messy, and I keep taking things. I like taking things. If I take more than my opponent, I will end up with more. Okay? I mean, that is definitely a legal move. That is definitely a legal move. I could take it with the king, so this will not be a check. I mean, of course, he probably might also take with them. Thinking, I'll take with the knight. Somehow it feels safer. The knight is a bit loose there, and I was going there, but I lost that leg when they took my bishop away. Alright, so this is of course if I take, I'm definitely 100 million, trillion, % gonna lose the p-pawn. There's 3 attackers. And that is that. He is of course threatening to take there twice, which is also true. How bad of an endgame is it to go into that nonsense though? Yeah, there's just nothing there though. This looks so stupid because we are... It looks so clumsy. It looks so clumsy. It's probably the only way trying to somehow hang on to an extra material here, right? And when I take, I defend the rook. Ay. Or just take here and let him take here and then, I don't know, probably move the king away from the check. Or I don't know, probably maybe even bring the rook to the block here. Well, I hope we don't lose. I don't think we have a lot of advantages in that endgame, to be honest. Might have a lot of disadvantages, but on the other hand, it's a bishop versus knight. Hopefully, I don't know what's gonna get traded. I have to take here now. I was gonna say that at least, all the pawns are on the same side. And that usually speaks that the knight is not gonna be completely overwhelmed, as where if there were some pawns on this side left. I might find myself in some kind of a trouble. Is this weakening? Probably, but I'll do it anyways. Here, I defended this, but king f3 could have defended the pawn. You can go here. I don't know, I'll do something. They do something. And then we're down to something. Okay, the downside of the knight at the moment is that he has no good squares. None. None whatsoever. Anyways, I'll stick my rook to an light squares. Also an open file. Did not know which one, so I chose C file completely randomly. But I'm not sure I can start roaming around because the second rank looks a bit weak. Also, this looks a bit weak. That looks also annoying. So I should take back what I said about the knight being decent here. At the moment, it's a useless piece. If I could put it here, would it do something? I mean, it definitely would do something, but in like a long run, is it even much? Even if I somehow manage this impossible route. That's an outpost, that's why I highlight it. Because there is definitely no squares I would love to stick my knight here. I mean, maybe here it would drive the mate, but apart from that, no. And out there, so again, this kind of a 3 move or 2 moves, 2 squares diagonally is like the worst thing knight can imagine. Just horrible for the knights. So I don't think I'm particularly well suited to letting him take, because they definitely have a more active rook. And it feels like a more safe king. It's probably okay to let him take here, but doesn't look like a lot of fun. Well, maybe I'm threatening to go here. Like I said, I'm not sure what I do there eventually. Well, at the moment, if I could do it, I would. Well, even there, defend. But he has time to set up things. Also, I'm not sure that was actually his best idea to go here, but let's keep it quiet. Shh. I thought the bishop would be actually much more annoying in somewhere like c5, bearing down on this diagonal. And then you could like maneuver the rook behind these guys and the bishop would make it very awkward to defend them. I guess I could move the king here. But if I put my pawns like this, then there's like a lot of holes for the king somehow to sneak in someday. Alrighty. Well, again, not sure this is in my best interest to bring the knight here, but I have to do something. Can even stick the king there probably and be fine. Like there's nothing I can do much about the king there. But that is also probably legal move. Dash is probably also legal move. Well, let's hit the rook. Maybe he'll move there and forgets the rook hanging. Can always hope. You can always hope. I just don't think I wanna ever think about bringing the rook there instantly and face the music on the second rank here. Looks very, very, very dicey. Is it smart to try to push these pawns? Put them on the dark squares. Feels like it might be the one of those you'll just die moments. Let's do it then. How do I manage to take the rook takes here and get the fork here? That seems hard to pull off. But maybe we are threatening to like push f4, e5. Just straight at the face of that bishop. Rude. Also, again, I don't know if I want to put my pawns all the way here and there. Because they are also very exposed there. But maybe. Think about making a passed pawn. Not sure what they could do that would allow me to play this and that with tempos like some random king move. Also, the bishop does not have to go there. But probably can. Alright, so I feel like my opponent is giving a little break here by playing this, avoiding any kind of a loss instead of going for the throat here, which I thought he could have maybe done, like if he put the bishop, for instance, here, which also probably why I should have gone there to begin with, maybe, and then try to sneak the king rook around somehow. Well, let's do it. I could also leave myself an isolated h pawn. Nah, I'll push, whatever. Push, I wanna push. It's loosening, I know. But I'll do it. I'll just do it. Let's see what happens. Crazy, I know. Bishop can go back here. And how stupid is it to just take here now? Just so the bishop is like, again... I don't really know. Well, mainly it's not here. So I can defend my pawn more easily. And maybe I'll do it instantly too, right? Or try to bring the king somewhere very close to the pawns. Yeah, let's leave that idiot rook to defend stuff around here. I'll bring the king somehow to support the pawnies. Also, now I come up with my great plan we came up with earlier. I'll just stick the rook here and take there and then fork them. Is that gonna be the end of the game? I'm not gonna move the rook here. I mean, I might, since it does nothing here, but... I just wanted to do the king move before he goes here or like somehow cuts me off or something rude like that. So the freaking bishop. Now he's really tempting me to stop the bishop move here. And threaten this idiot move here. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a cheapo. I'm not even sure it is a cheapo because in the end they have a bishop fork here. But at least it threatens to cheapo them. Alright, we could go for here. But I think I'll just keep on running with this idiot here. Let's stick the idiot into a light square here. I have this covered. I need to keep this covered. I don't know. Somehow the king appears there and then we just push through. It's gonna be a lot of checks on the back there, so I'm not sure I have time to set things up correctly. It's also very risky to get the king so far away from the world. Also, bishop here might be kind of unpleasant, right? If I go here, because you hit my rook and threaten this in my pawn. Well, that's unpleasant. Here. Oh, of course, this is also cursed square because we are in a crossfires here. Also, if check, I can't go here anyways because boom. So everything is cursed. Everything is very cursed. Okay, I'll try it anyways. Well, now he of course can just repeat if he wants to. I don't know if I could like do something. I mean, I could try to get here, but he still has check, so I don't know, that gets me anywhere. How do we avoid the checks? If he wishes to do so. He might also try to win. I'm taking big risks here. I guess at least if the king bishop goes active somehow, then they have to deal with the e7 hanging always. Oh, they just checked. So there is the possibility that I could go here. It goes there. I'll attack the bishop. He goes for the pawn. I'll just go here and they can't take here because the bishop is hanging. But I don't know if I have time for such silliness. And I'm not even sure the king run around is gonna do much in the end though. I'll just repeat. Whatever, man. This looks way too dangerous to try to run around. Sorry about that ending. It was a bit lame, but it looks very dangerous to go here and allow this. I feel like I could maybe get away with this. And well, obviously we don't go into a discovery, even though apparently that's the only way to actually play them. Just walk into a discovery. What the boy? Of course he cannot take here or there. What? Looks crazy. Now the draw is like just keep. And then there, and this comes dangerous. Not this one, this one. Okay, I'm not gonna, well, even in a long game I would hesitate a lot to go to such a line. Even if I saw it, which I would never go here. I was thinking this, then he can go here. And if I defend this, thinking pawn, why can't I take here? Question mark. No. What the hell? Oh, I looked at this wrong. It says +2. I somehow thought that that's +2 means for black, but of course that's somehow winning now. Yeah. So check is a mistake, yeah. Well, but yeah. But let's say he moves the freaking bishop. Let's put it here so it's threatening this. But then he loses this. Yeah, I forgot that then that pawn is hanging again in that line. I saw it at some point, but then I kind of like, well, if we push, and apparently that's a mistake. Rook d1, queen, king here, bishop goes c1. Knight d4. Let's go rook e4. The idea that I'm blocking with the knight here. f5. King here. King f6. And now suddenly somehow white is completely lost because I suppose king just comes here and says you cannot defend your stinking pawn. I mean, I guess that's fair. That is fair. Alright. Sorry, also the view is wrong, so you can't even see half the board. Well, let's look at the top. Leave the engine on, leave the book on, whatever. Benko Gambit. This is the main line, we just accept it. A6. And this is the main line, just accept the Benko. This is a decent way to decline it. Also, you can play E3 here and try to take with the bishop here if they take. Which is a decent way to play too. B6 is a decent way. Deny them this, but of course then black gained something. He has like a C pawn. You don't. And C pawn is kind of like a central pawn. Not exactly, but almost. And doesn't at least has an influence on the central squares. Of course, you have an isolated pawn. White has again still the. I was gonna say development edge, but do they really? Do they? Maybe some space advantage because of the pawn. I assume computer gives us 0.2 for something. Anyways, bang, bang, bang. And then they played g6. Apparently main line. I thought this is main line. This used to be a main line someday. I don't know, it was here. Something g6 or g6 and then e4. And then you take here and the king runs around here. These are the things I saw 20 years ago or whatever. This was popular ages ago. Apparently not. Well, maybe it is. I've never really looked too deeply in this anyway. So g6, leave that guy here. Get the things going here rapidly. Knight c3 looks logical. Develop, defend. There, puts the pressure on here. Ready to castle. e4 is the main line. Or main move. Castle's main move. Knight f3. I mean, nothing fancy, just the normal moves. Again, you could decline with the a7. Computer really likes a7 here. Well, anyways. Not much of a difference, but I don't know. Maybe one day the rook could be hit or something. e6, bishop e2, chop, chop, d6, castles. I mean, you can even get there if you want to. Knight a6, bishop, knight b5. We did get the hit on the rook. Wow, lots of games still here. Completely random line. I guess it makes sense, but no, this is annoying. So here I'm thinking that I was thinking this. Is this a, yeah, it is an opening trap. I did smell, I might have even fallen to it, so I don't remember. Not in a real game, but like some online blitz game. So the point is here, and if I take, they'll take here, and I'll take, and they'll take. And now there is just no good way of breaking the pin here. If I use the bishop to defend the rook, I drop this guy, and then I mean, the pawns are still even, but look at the quality of my pawns compared to their nice pawns, the chain. Imagine he puts the pawn there and a beautiful pawn chain, whereas I have two isolated pawns here and one of them is even double isolani there. So you could almost say we are down 3 pawns almost. And the actually computer pretty much says that. They're gonna just drop and probably drop and probably drop. Best move, bishop h6, covers the stinking pawn. Alright, so at least I saw that. Chop. Alright, here I guess we should have asked ourselves who's benefiting from the trades. Try to make them do it this way. So if you now go for the B file, still a pain to defend. Computer wants E5 or, but yeah, castles is legal. Then E5. Okay, I'm gonna humor the computer and see what's what in his line here. Eventually he gets this in. Where do we go? Let's go knight a3, knight b5. Let's spin the queen, a4. Really good for white, says the engine. Would I understand that this is really good for white? Like, knight is not moving at the moment, so this might not have been ideal. This knight is out of play for us while we have shut down the bishop. We have some nice pawns. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I saw this position, I could come to a conclusion that white is better here. How much? I have no idea. Anyhow, they did not mind the trade, which apparently is the mistake. Don't bring, I mean, I kept bringing things in the game. Black scores really well in this. Rook b1 is the main line. Still a bunch of games. I saw a Finnish player, Newback, playing here. How did he go? h3. And drew one well here. And he's strong player, I'm not. So it's not completely unreasonable. Bang. So a few games still left this way. Now one game. The other game went castles. Yeah, I was debating which is the best. Alright, b4. Here I didn't look at this, but I think it's not gonna work out. Except I was maybe came to a conclusion that maybe it's actually fine. I'll go here. Let him take here with check. I'll take there with maybe bishop. I mean, I guess it's not gonna be that great. But that is something they have to be worried about. Like, you don't wanna go here unless you wanna go there. Looks wrong though, but maybe. There is gonna be counterplay for black too. Knight's gonna go there, the a pawn is gonna hang, the e pawn is hanging. So you could maybe go there, and this is maybe gonna fail. Maybe gonna fail. Hits the rook, hits the pawn, hits the pawn. So probably rook b7 is bad. What does Mr. Machine say? Black is better. Yeah, it feels loose. Again, same thing that Bengal Gambit players love. They have pretty nice pawn structure, whereas white has crappy pawns. Yeah. I don't have time to take here and be happy. Knight d5. Bishop takes here. Knight takes e7, just winning. Because you have rook c8, c6 in the end. I mean, if I saw the pawn hanging, I would have gone for this though anyways, but yeah, this just wins the piece or an exchange. So maybe we could actually have gone here, except he takes this one instead. So we don't have this move. And then he takes here. Okay, yeah, so this is much better takes. So I didn't miss anything, except I didn't even look at that. Decent move, decent move. Decent move. Just complete equality. Here it says should play a3. They'll take. I thought here. But then I could take here, right? We're kind of covering everything. The knight is hanging. Actually holding to an extra pawn here. But that's a kind of a mess you have to figure out. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, chop, chop. Wants to go instantly here. Let's take the same way. Bang, bang, bang. Rook c2. And now we would be already on the c file. If he says no, like in the game, and maybe do a check. Of course, he could also just go trade or go to the back rank and say no checks to you, man. I doubt there's anything anywhere ever for anybody here. Oof, too far. Fine, even f3 is fine. I did kind of hesitate afterwards that the dark squares are getting weaker, but fine. Fine. Maybe in hindsight, go to the A file. I thought this is gonna be a bit unpleasant, to be honest. you stick the bishop here? And then, I don't know, try to squeeze those pawns from the back here. And if I play some kind of setup where I stick this here and you go here and I try to cover the b-pawn with the rook, then thought that maybe you could do a sneaky king run here. Why not? Computer wants to go knight e5. Stupid. Suppose we go here and harass the bishop. Like he does something. I'm gonna move the pawn even though I don't think that's a good move. This gives a weakness there, but let's move like a random move here. Rook here. Knight d7. Rook a, bishop a7. Then on this side. So bishop is getting a little low on the squares. e5. With some chances. f4. Now, without the bishops on the board, I could see this guy running through. And apparently just this. Of course, they don't have to do that. Okay, this seemed like an actual threat to try stuff. Apparently g4. Guess we are gonna squeeze the bishop and he plays here. Then e5, and now he has no square here. Jeopardy dies. So we have to give up the bishop here. Horrible. Of course, he doesn't have to play g5 and lose the bishop, but this way got the bishop squeezed out to the wrong side. I hope. Computer says who cares. But I would think that somebody should care about free pawns and all. Computer does not, because it can always win those dudes back. Anyways, that's impossible. This looked logical. That one was random takes, just to get a tempo and the bishop sidelined for a second. But yeah, okay, I don't know. This was probably a stupid cheapo here. I didn't want the bishop here and I saw the stupid threat. But let's say even if we, you know, I don't even know how to blunder make this here. It's very hard. Like if here, there, king goes somewhere there. I thought here and then they have a counter attack here anyways. Even, yeah. So my cheapo didn't even threaten to cheapo them. This is all equal, but maybe I could have tried this move here. Maybe. This did not happen. Here we repeated third time. It looked too scary. And I was not sure, like, even if I managed to do the run, except I really can't go there, so I'd have to do the run even further there. And of course, you can probably like keep checking me here, and or like even if I go here, I could maybe just go here and keep attacking the pawn. And now this is not gonna end up well again. Yeah, here we can do it still, but yeah. Well, it was a game. I hope somebody had some fun out of that. I played one inaccuracy. My opponent played no inaccuracies. The evaluation did not change at any point. It was in a drawing margin entire game. My only inaccuracy is taking here. Whereas if I did something else like rook b1, I would be slightly better, and here I'm slightly worse. But it was like, yeah, like a heart of a dead patient, a heartbeat. Straight line. No life in that corpse of a position. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and until next time, ciao.